Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how I can create this animation with geometry nodes. So let's get started. First let's delete the light and duplicate the cube 2 times. Now select one of the cubes and go to geometry nodes and click on new. Now drag in cube 001. Delete the group input and connect the geometry to the geometry. Hide cube 1 and 2 and also hide them in the render. If you don't see this option here, you can go up here and enable it. Now add a transform node and keyframe the rotation. Let's drag this up here and go to the timeline, go to frame 251 and set it to 360 times 2 on the X. And now keyframe it again. Add a subdivision surface and set that to 4. Now we need a set position node. Also add a set shade smooth node. This one. And a set material. Now drag in cube 002 and duplicate the subdivision surface, set it to 2, connect the geometry to the mesh. Now add a proximity node and connect the position to the offset here. Connect the subdivision surface to the target and add a position node. Connect the position to set position. Also we need to set this to relative. And now if we select the cube, it will behave like this. Now let's go to the X scale and set it to 0.5 and move it down to minus 0.5. And now if we play the animation, we have something like this. So let's move it down even further. And now that's what I want. Now let's save. I'm going to call it tutorial. Now let's select cube 1 and here go back to frame 1 and keyframe the rotation. Go to frame 251 again and set it to 360 on every axis and keyframe it again. Now we have this. So let's select this mesh again and create a new material. I'm going to call it glass. Now select the material here. Now let's go to shading, go into rendered view and let's use an HDRI for this. I'm going to put a link to the one that I used in the description. So I'm going to use, let's try this one. I think this looks nice. So now let's go to render properties, film and check transparent. Select the pencil, BSDF and delete it and add a glass shader. Control Shift to connect it. And I think this looks good. So now let's go to layout mode and set up the camera. Go into side view by pressing 3 and Control Alt 0 to go into camera view. Now let's make sure that it stays within the frame of the camera for the entire animation. So let's press G, Z to move it back and GZ to move it down. And let's check it again. It's still outside of the frame here. And let's move it down again. Now this works. Leave the resolution like this and also the frame rate. I'm going to create a new folder for the output. do that, just go up here and click on the plus sign and call it rendered images. These images here are because I already tested the animation. So now let's call it rendered images. If you put an underscore after the name, Blender is going to automatically assign numbers to the frames. So let's hit accept now and go to the render properties. Make sure you are rendering at 128 samples. I'm going to use denoise with optics. If you don't have an NVIDIA GPU, you can only use OpenImage denoise. If you do, then you can use which one you like. I prefer optics. Now let's go to Compositing, and to use the setup here you need to check Use Nodes, and then just add a denoise node set to accurate, and for these options here you need to check denoising data. Now let's save again, go to Render and Render Animation. After it's done rendering, I'm going to show you how to compile the images into a video. After it's done rendering, let's go up here. And if you don't have this tab here, you can go here to the plus sign and video editing. So let's go here and go back to frame 1. Hover over the file location and press Ctrl C to copy it. And now hit Shift A, image sequence, and paste in the location minus the name. And make sure that the slash here that you don't delete that. So let's hit enter and press A and enter. Now set the file format to FFmpeg video, encoding to MPEG-4, and the output quality to high quality. And now let's hit render animation again. So that's it with the tutorial. I hope you liked it. Please let me know what I should do next, and I'll see you next time.